We are in the 2022 Mini Cooper S JCW Convertible with the soft top. So we're going to open up the top and do this review. And what's cool is that you can actually use this as sort of a moonroof. So the first half you can open as much or as little as you want to. And then you kind of have that midpoint there. So we can just have a sunroof. And then if we do want the back to open, these side frames will come down. So you'll see the windows come down and then the entire roof mechanism is going to open up, and it happens fairly quickly. You can also do it while you're moving slowly, and now it's complete. Now, one thing is, and I don't know if you can see from this angle, but there's not much rearward visibility when you have the top down in terms of the rear view mirror. You can't see much, and so you have to really rely on your side mirrors here in order to see what cars are behind you. Now, what I'm gonna do is put up the windows here, which is nice. I can do it with one switch. I'm gonna mount the GoPro onto the window, and then we're gonna go up this road where we have a little bit of extra traffic. So we're not gonna take it too fast, but we are going to go ahead and flip the car into sport here. And you can see it has a red line, about 6,000 RPM there. We do have the paddles. This is the 8-speed automatic, but I'm going to go ahead and let the car do all the shifting for me. So I'm going to mount this GoPro here, put it into drive, and then sport mode by knocking the shifter over to the left. And let's see how this car does on a mountain road. And keep in mind, this is the preview. This is my first time ever driving this car on a fun road. I will have a more solid review on the full YouTube channel, which is just youtube.com/shouldIGetIt. But for now, let's see how the Mini handles a canyon road. This does have electronic dampers, so it gets a little bit stiffer in sport mode. And I'm just gonna cruise in the automatic sport transmission mode. So you can see it's selected 4th gear here. As we slow down, it's gonna knock down 4th, 3rd, and wow, this steering weight is really nice. It is front wheel drive. You can hear the tires really working to grip onto the road there and not have too much understeer. And the car feels a little bit big actually, but that's because I've been used to driving my Fiat 500 Abarth lately, which is smaller than this. The Fiat is stick, and this thing sounds really good on the upshifts. I kind of wish that it would do the crackles there. You can see that under braking it understeers a lot. I'm curious what tires are on here. I'm assuming it's the Centrato P7s, which came standard with the Mini Cooper S back when I had one in 2015. Also, just a note, and this is an interesting part of reviewing cars since this is a loaner vehicle from BMW/Mini of North America, this car has 464 miles on it. So no, it's not broken in, but also to bring you guys a accurate review of what the car is like to drive when you're having fun with it. You know, I might not be following proper break-in procedure, but there's also some of you that probably break in by driving it like you stole it. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be having fun with the car for your sake and mine, of course. And we're gonna continue to drive and have fun here. So whatever questions you have for the full review, leave them as a comment. But right now, I definitely felt the torque steer there going up the hill. We are approaching the motorcyclist and a Porsche Macan, so we're gonna slow down a little bit. Some things that I will note right off the bat. One, I wish that the exhaust would crackle. I know I said that, but I think that adds a lot of drama and a lot of fun to the theater experience of driving a car, especially a convertible. It seems to do a little bit of pop and burble there when you let off in the low RPMs, but not as much higher. So you get a little bit of a thump there, but not much of a pop. And here is what my Mini Cooper S sounded like. Granted, that did have a Borla exhaust. Pop in 3, 2, 1. So that's what the 2015 Mini Cooper S sounded like. And even stock, here's a completely stock 2015 Mini Cooper F56S exhaust clip. Doesn't do that. So there's probably an upgraded exhaust option, and maybe they have a different map, but I did expect that there would be some more crackles and pops in the higher RPMs, so that when you are dropping between gears, even in manual mode, or especially in manual mode rather, that you'd get a little bit of that sound. So what else? The wind noise on the freeway, I did notice that because of the antenna that's up here, hopefully you guys can see that in the freeze frame, it's kind of right in the center of the windshield, so it creates some drag around it. It's got this interesting sort of texture to it where it has the top wiring kind of coiled around, and you can definitely hear the wind dragging what sounds like specifically on that antenna. So I understand that they had to place it there because they couldn't put it on the trunk, that wouldn't look good, and they couldn't put it on the soft top because of course that would move when you are opening and closing the roof. but they could have gone with a shark fin, sort of smaller antenna. If I own this car, that's probably the first thing I would do. Now let's see how the turning is on this sharp banked hill. Feels pretty good, and again, really nice steering weight. This steering wheel, wow, tons of power coming up. This steering wheel feels really nice. It's got great girth to it. It's very nice and grippy. It reminds me of every BMW M steering wheel that I've experienced. If you've been in an M Sport packaged BMW or a proper M car like an M2, M3, M4, 5, 6, X4M, whatever, you know the exact steering wheel feel that I'm talking about. It feels really, really good. I don't know how I feel about the new glossy controls that are on here versus the harder buttons, the physical buttons that they had in previous model years, because these are definitely more of a fingerprint magnet. They'll probably get scratched if you have longer nails, or if you accidentally, I don't know, have your key in your hand when you're getting in the car, or your phone, and your phone case might scratch these. So I'd be a little bit worried about that. But in terms of driving experience, this thing just makes me really want this Porsche to be out of my way, because it makes even moderate speeds feel fairly slow, and it feels very good. So I'm gonna go right here. Hopefully this gentleman or lady goes left. Let's see, I guess we're gonna follow them. And I do have the air conditioning running right now, which is nice. So I'll give them a little bit of space. Turn off the AC. So we'll turn the dial there. Let's go into manual, so first gear. And right after this corner, we're gonna just punch it. So we're at 4,000 RPM, here we go. No power there. And it auto shifted for me from second, directly kind of skipped third and went to fourth. That was interesting. Didn't hit the paddle. On the downshift there was no exhaust pop. Let's see. When I let off the throttle, not much there either. Braking feels pretty good. A little bit soft, and that's the same issue I had with my F56S, so I will take a look after I get out of the car, see if this has larger brakes. The F56S, that's where I made a whole video about that. It did not brake well enough for me. I'm also not going super heavy on the brakes right now, but it did not brake as quickly as the car got up to speed, and I feel that if a car can speed up quickly, it should be able to brake even quicker, I would say. So now we've got this Porsche out of the way. We're gonna go back into the sport transmission mode and foot down. Wow. It just does this sort of kick of power between 4,000 and 5,000 RPM, and then it really dies off. Like, it feels like the torque curve just drops. And so you actually want to let it be lower in the rev range. Yeah, and then once it gets to 4,000 RPM, that's where you get your torque, and it does definitely push you in the back of the seat. Okay, so it is currently 84 degrees, and I am in beautiful Mexico, as I must be whenever I do my reviews. It is hot. I have a hat on, I have my sunglasses on, I've been drinking cool water. It is very, very hot, even in shorts and a pretty light, thin t-shirt. So definitely something that I haven't thought about in a while, as I haven't owned a convertible in about a year now. I sold my previous Mazda Miata, which was a 1991, and even with the AC running, it's not horrible in here, but it's definitely just hot on your head to have the sun beating down. So during the sunset, it would be amazing to drive this, or early in the morning, maybe on an overcast day, but I think that I am actually going to drive most of the time with the top up until I go for a drive to dinner, and then I will definitely put the top down and enjoy the breeze. And also when I get back to the ocean roads, then I will enjoy myself there. But it's interesting, you can hear the tires squeal. So I'm very curious what tires are on this. I don't feel that they are as grippy as they should be. Not giving me as much confidence as I would want with the JCW name behind the trim level of the car. But overall, definitely fun to drive and very capable. It sounds good. It sounds very good. All right, so if you have questions, let me know what you want for the final review. And I will see you probably in a week on youtube.com/shouldigetit. Thanks so much for watching. Peace.